April 1945. Imagine if the war had ended differently. Hitler's jets escort his flight to New York. The Statue of Liberty draped in swastikas, Broadway in ruins. This nightmare never happened, but it almost could have. In World War II, Germany's most brilliant scientists raced to create an arsenal of terrifying new weapons, a spacecraft to bomb America, death rays from science fiction, flying saucers, even an atomic bomb. 70 years later, secret Nazi files reveal how close Hitler came to victory through science. This is the story of the wonder weapons and why they failed. In the early war years, Hitler's blitzkrieg tears across Europe. Germany becomes the first nation to wage war through advanced science and technology. Hitler believes in quality over quantity. Superior technology will win the war. It's an extension of his own mentality. Germany deploys a series of frightening firsts: long-range ballistic missiles, jet fighters that overpower Allied propeller planes, and stealth designs decades ahead of America's B-2 bomber. The center of this revolution is a top-secret complex on a remote Baltic island, Peenemünde. The sleepy town becomes the birthplace of the jet age and space age, the cradle of wonder weapons. The location is ideal, remote near the Baltic for rocket launches and far from spies. It's a state secret with futuristic apartment blocks for the scientific elite, but it's also a concentration camp where prisoners work as slaves. When too weak to continue, they're murdered to protect Hitler's secrets. Private trains carry engineers and physicists to this self-contained metropolis. Peenemünde becomes the Nazis' Los Alamos and Cape Canaveral combined. (1943) Despite Allied bombing, Hitler believes in victory. His propaganda minister Goebbels coins the term vengeance weapons, the V-weapons. The V-1 is revolutionary, a liquid-fueled pulse jet flying 360 miles per hour on autopilot. Launched from ramps, it's guided by a gyro compass toward its target. Nicknamed the buzz bomb for its loud engine noise, an odometer tracks distance until it dives toward the target. But the dive kills the engine. Sudden silence signals death is coming. Of 8,000 launched, 2,300 penetrate British defences. The world's first cruise missile terrorizes London in 1944-45. Thousands die, tens of thousands injured. Hitler's secret science is working. But there's one problem: accuracy. To hit precise targets, someone must fly the bomb. Engineers add a pilot seat to the V-1, creating the Reichenberg, Germany's kamikaze aircraft. Hundreds are built, but never see combat. They're too difficult to fly. But Germany's greatest weapon comes from a brilliant young physicist, Werner von Braun. From Peenemünde, von Braun creates the V-2, the world's first long-range ballistic missile. To him, it's not a weapon, but a step towards space. Putting man in space is his consuming passion. Military rockets existed for centuries, powered by gunpowder. But Germans realized liquid fuel rockets can achieve impressive range and power. September 1944. The V-2 begins firing. Unlike the buzz bomb, it falls without warning at 3,300 miles per hour. It cannot be intercepted. Over 9,000 casualties result. Von Braun focuses on science, not war, but defiance of the Führer isn't an option. Neither is suggesting defensive weapons. Germany's real failure is defensive technology. You can't suggest defensive weapons. That implies the war is being lost. But the truth is, Germany is losing. US warplanes attack a convoy carrying the one weapon that might have changed everything: the Taifun, the world's first ground-to-air missile. The Taifun is revolutionary. A simple steel tube filled with nitric acid and fuel. It can travel 6 miles in 14 seconds. Over 1 million are planned for 1945. If Germany had focused resources on anti-aircraft missiles instead of the V-2, they could have created an effective air defense system. This might have stopped the Allied bombing campaign. But that didn't happen. They were absorbed with the belief they'd won, or maintaining power as long as possible. Too much suspicion, too much party politics. Resources were never concentrated. Powered flight is less than 30 years old when Hitler seizes power. Yet within months, Nazi blueprints burst with incredible designs. Before war's end, Germany produces aeronautical firsts that remain the basis for modern aircraft. The Messerschmitt Me 262, the world's first operational jet fighter. It outruns any Allied aircraft by 100 miles per hour. It's the most advanced German craft to see combat. The Arado 234, the world's first turbojet bomber. Lightweight, streamlined, effective. Any country would be proud to fly it. With territory shrinking, Germans developed vertical takeoff aircraft. The Focke-Wulf rotary jet with rockets at propeller tips, designed to take off vertically. But the most incredible weapon is rumored to be a Nazi UFO. Rudolf Schriever's plans for the SS, a piloted disc nearly 50 feet in diameter with 3 impulse jets. This UFO was never built, but in an Austrian castle, Victor Schauberger develops a disc-shaped invention using natural turbulence from swirling water to create a fuelless engine. In the 1930s, intrigued by fish swimming upstream, he devises a silent, vacuum-powered engine. He calls it the Repulsine, meant to pull aircraft forward, not push. Against his will, Schauberger is forced into Nazi science, working in weapons labs with slave labor. His grandson insists, it's only a propulsion system, not a weapon. (1944), Stuttgart, Germany. Nazis plot the ultimate weapon, an atomic bomb. Half a world away, American physicists at Los Alamos race for the same goal. But Germany has its own genius, Nobel Prize winner Werner Heisenberg. Heisenberg's team calls themselves the Uranium Club. In early 1945, the US knows nothing about German nuclear capability. A secret project codenamed Operation Alsos is launched. Outside Stuttgart, beneath a castle in Haigerloch, agents discover an atomic reactor in a stone cellar. Uranium cubes are found hidden in a field. The evidence goes to the United States for investigation. Months earlier, heavy water, key to nuclear power, arrives from Nazi-occupied Norway despite resistance attempts to stop it. The Nazis plan to combine heavy water with uranium to begin the nuclear age. But at Trinity Site in New Mexico, it's America who proves the atomic bomb's power. After the war, the Allies capture 10 leading German atomic scientists and bug them at Farm Hall near Cambridge. The outcome? Germany had no atomic bomb and, in the end, not even a clue how it functions. But what about the wonder weapons that DID exist? World's first cruise missile, first long-range ballistic missile, first surface-to-air missile, first jet fighter and bomber. In Germany, a small group of people were very advanced. There's a special genius about it, countless designs years ahead of their time. So how did Hitler's plan fail? In Germany, everything was secret. This hurt them more than it hurt the Allies. They had a confining security system with no crossfeed between scientists. Enthusiasts built dreams without adequate resources. People made decisions about projects they didn't understand. At the top, Hitler made final decisions with only partial information. Such secrecy slowed production devastatingly. Germany produced 300 Mi-262s, getting only 300 into combat. Meanwhile, the Allies put 1,000 bombers and fighters over Germany daily. Germany nurtured hundreds of deadly inventions. But to win, they'd need to prioritize a handful and mass-produce them by the thousands. If Germany had focused on defense strategically, and increased production of specific weapons, the outcome might have been very different. Invasion in 1944 would have been difficult, probably pushed to 1945. It's even conceivable the war might have ended with the first atomic bomb dropped on Germany instead of Japan, but that didn't happen. (1945) The Nazi dream is destroyed. Hitler commits suicide. At Nuremberg, the world learns the horror of concentration camps. As troops close in on Berlin, rocket genius Wernher von Braun must choose: surrender to Russians, take cyanide, or join the Allies. He chooses America. Von Braun is put in charge of the US missile program. At White Sands, New Mexico, von Braun accomplishes his space dream. The creator of the deadly V-2 spends his life in loyal service to America. Thanks to him, America wins the space race and puts a man on the moon. Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Wernher von Braun is undoubtedly the most significant rocket engineer of the century. There's a direct line from Peenemünde to the moon through Wernher von Braun. Yet, rockets aren't the only descendants of Hitler's secret science. In the 1950s, the US Air Force tests airframes resembling Peenemunde's dream machines. Today's space shuttle and modern rocket engines still use principles of Nazi design. The X-15 rocket plane still holds the speed record for piloted aircraft. There's no argument Germany had the most talented weapons designers, but they were failed by their leadership. Hitler believed his scientists would develop a nuclear weapon. Even without it, the Nazis reached unprecedented heights of scientific advancement, all in the name of war. We're fortunate they failed.